Welcome in, YouTube, to part 2 of the Hildibrand quests in Post Heavensward. The first part isn't really on its own. It's part of one of Morrighan Initari's Post Heavensward quests, probably the 3.2 patch, which would be... I think it's just called Post... I don't remember what it's called, honestly, but the video's there, somewhere, in the Post Heavenswards for Morrighan Initari. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below if you're enjoying these videos, and let me know what you're thinking. And you can catch me on Twitch at twitch.tv/CalebGames here. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I usually start between 9 and 10 a.m. Pacific time. See you in a bit, YouTube. I love you. Alright, so we gotta go over here to Seer. I pray this eve finds you well, Morrighan. Or at least better than it finds me. Seems I have no choice but to seek out that inspector and convince him to surrender up his mammoth to me. 'Twas unearthed under most suspicious circumstances, after all, and who can say what secrets or heresy it might hold? Therefore, the Inquisition would conduct a thorough inspection, and if needs must, destroy it. Given his affinity for the contraption, I fear the inspector may not be amenable to my request. Nevertheless, he must be made to see that it is in the interest of public safety. Would you be willing to help me persuade him? Fury be praised. At least you have seen reason. Let us pray he will as well. I am given to understand that while the inspector and his assistant have been wandering all over the city with the mammoth in tow, they often frequent the gazebo near Fortom's Manor. With any luck, they will be there now. Probably. Let's go find out. Verily shall we scour all creation, from the deepest pit of the seven hells to the very pinnacle of the heavens, for the answers we seek. Every day shall be filled with grand adventures, the stuff of fairy tales and legends. Huzzah! A grand adventure in the deepest pit of the seven hells. Just so. Such is the creed of Hildibrand, agent of inquiry, inspector extraordinaire. Oh, even Gigi does the pose? Well posed, Gigi. I dare say you have the potential to be an exemplary inspector someday. Right, that's enough of that. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Supreme Sacred Tribunal of Hellenic Inquisitory Doctrine, I hereby command you to surrender that mammoth of suspected heretical origin into my custody. Why, hello there, Morrighan and Inquisitor Seer, ever the jester. Accusing poor Gigi of being a clockwork heretic when 'tis plain to see that he is merely a precious young lad. Oh, there you go again, confusing the poor girl. As if those big, beautiful, boxy eyes aren't the soul of femininity. Nashu, please. Were you not witness to the magnificent display of Mandervillian masculinity mere moments ago? That's because you haven't taught her any better. She needs a proper role model to show her what's what. Mistress Initari, Inspector Seer, what is all this commotion? We can hear you from the courtyard. Oh, it was him. My bad. Oh, Lord Edmund, my sincerest apologies for the disturbance. I am come to seize this mammoth on behalf of the Inquisition, a fact which I clearly explained to the inspector before you arrived. At which point they set to bickering about the contraption's gender. What say you, my lord? Do you think Gigi a boy or a girl? 'Tis clearly a strapping young lad, no? Fury take me, not you too. Has the whole world gone mad? Fine, fine. But even supposing that this Gigi is a real boy, you cannot deny that the circumstances of his discovery and miraculous resuscitation were most unusual. He cannot be suffered to roam the city with impunity until the Inquisition has determined he is not a threat. I beg your pardon? Miraculous resuscitation? I don't remember because it's been like 3 months. I see. Then until such time as Gigi recovers his memory, mayhap it would be best if you adopted him as a ward of House Manderville. I just went through like 3 different voices for this guy. I will even stand as witness here and now if you wish. Adopt? Then that would make me Gigi's father? Doubtless the Inquisition would think better of taking any action which might threaten the cordial relationship between our 2 houses. Yes, of course, I'll do it. I, Hildibrand, Agent of Inquiry, Inspector Extraordinaire, do hereby grant this child the patronage of House Manderville. Papa Hildy! Papa Hildy! The inspector's finally become a father. It's so beautiful. Quite. Now that you no longer need fear the Inquisition, you are free to show Gigi more of our fair city. Indeed, I strongly encourage you to do so. Mayhap, by the grace of the Fury, something will jog his memory. Thank you, Lord Edmund. I shall not forget this kindness. Come, my faithful assistant, my beloved son, we must away. Oh, Hallinay, I would not presume to question your grand design, but... confound it all. Well, mayhap I cannot detain the mammoth, but I am still within my rights to observe the blasted thing. Lord Godbert will be pleased to hear that his son is as hale and healthy as ever. Not that I would ever presume to meddle on another father's behalf, and certainly not without consent. That is why Edmund is one of my favorite characters. He is one of, like, I feel like, at this point in the game, the, only houses in Ishgard to do what is right, because it's, you know, the right thing to do, whether it goes against their beliefs or not. Come now, Gigi. Surely gazing upon this wondrous work of Ishgardian architecture stirs something within your soul? This grand manor of House Maltempsart? Pray do not fill the boy, the mammoth's head with such nonsense. That is the supreme sacred tribunal of Hellenic inquisitory doctrine. I should know. I work there. Furthermore, I am quite certain that there is no House Maltempsarte, and that is rather a ludicrous portmanteau of the 4 high houses, including that esteemed house which but recently stood as witness to your adoption. Well, Gigi, do you remember anything? No, nothing. I say, rather than parading him before the grandiose, why not give him a taste of something more prosaic? Let us make our way to the holy stables that he might bask in the singular sights, sounds, and smells of Ishgard's famous chocobos. Whatever you say, Hildy. What do you got, Seer? You got some annoyance with that? Seer needs to, take some time and relax. Splendid specimens of horse-bird flesh, would you not agree? In the hands of a skilled jockey, any one of them could take first place at the saucer. These chocobos are the pride of the Ishgardian cavalry, and any temple knight who dared exploit them for personal gain would answer to the Fury herself. How about now, Gigi? Do you remember anything about Ishgard? Be sure to sniff the chocobos. It might help. It didn't. You know, just because you found him in a Coerthan snowbank, it doesn't mean he hails from Ishgard. Which is why we ought to try taking him to the markets and exposing him to all manner of goods across Eorzea. Excellent suggestion, Inquisitor. Wait. Am I now complicit in this farce? Fury, forgive me. But I want one! I want one! Buy me a chocobo, please, Father! Father, that strange-looking thing is staring at us. Gigi. Gigi. Am I that strange-looking? I'm gonna give him a poor complex. Back to the pillars, because we're going to the Jeweled Crozier. Why bother? It's no use. Now, Gigi. You must not give in to despair so easily. Did I not promise you days filled with grand adventures and the eventual discovery of your mislaid memories? Spirits, Gigi, spirits. Do your dorky smile. Oh no. My word! A vase flung to the ground with reckless abandon! Could this be the opening salvo of an indiscriminate campaign of vandalism? One waged by your gesticulations, perhaps? At least look before you strike a pose. The gods only know how much that vase cost. 123,504,000 gil at last assessment. 'Twas over 700 years old and graced the homes of a dozen archbishops, 8 counts, 2 lord commanders, and 1 duke. 100 million gil? Oh, Helene, why have you forsaken me? Fix it, Gigi. Fix it. Well, would you look at that? I mean, would you look at that? It's a miracle. Nay, the divine intervention of the Fury herself. Did I do that? Gigi, my boy, that was marvelous. You're a born artisan just like father. Papa Hildy's papa? Your grandpapa, Godbert. The man who woke you with a few gentle taps to the noggin. You wouldn't believe what else he can do with that hammer of his. Why, some folks say he wields the very powers of life and death. Once he and the missus came back from their tour of the Western Highlands, I'm sure they'd love to see that trick of yours. Do not demean this mammoth's power as a mere parlor trick. We just witnessed a miracle, and I demand that you all acknowledge it. This mammoth? Sir. I say, sir. 100 million gil for the mammoth. Nay, 100 million gil and the Duke's priceless vase. My word, is this what passes for trade in Ishgard? Gigi is my flesh and blood. I will not sell him at any price. Please, Papa Hildy, no more. I know you mean well, but we can deny the truth no longer. I am a mammoth. Gigi, whatever has gotten into you? You are my son. You are a Manderville man. Listen to your papa, Gigi. You're a Manderville girl, through and through. Stop it. Both of you. You're not my papa or my mama. Poor Gigi. Oh, children do say the most hurtful things. Well, it is only to be expected. Gigi is at a rebellious stage. Strange as it may sound, I too tested my parents' patience, and that on more than one occasion. But if they could weather the storm, then so can I. I say we find out what's got him thinking he's a mammoth. But he is a mammoth. How can you not? Oh, never mind. The course of fatherhood never did run smooth, but I, Hildibrand, guardian of Gigi, doting parent extraordinaire, shall find a way to overcome this trial and be reconciled with my beloved son. That's the spirit! Solving a simple case of childhood rebellion should be easy for a man who's unmasked thieves, defeated duelists, and led armies of the undead. Yes, that's all very... What was that about the undead? Actually, don't tell me. For now, all that matters is finding the mammoth. We should begin by speaking with the sentry stationed at the city gates and the airship landing. If Fury help us, he has left Ishgard. We need to know about it sooner rather than later. I will visit the Ark of the Worthy, while the inspector and his assistant head to the airship landing. You can question the guard at the gate near the manufactory, after which we will regroup there and share our findings. Dismissed. I actually think it will be quicker to go this way, instead of back to the Aetheryte and teleporting to the other Aetheryte. Heroworld. That's not how you pronounce that at all, and I apologize. Little fellow with a wide-brimmed hat. Aye, he came through here. Bought passage on a supply ship bound for Falcon's Nest. Well, if Gigi left the city, it was not by the main gates. And the sentries at the airship landing have seen none matching his description. Falcon's Nest? Fury take me, must we return to that freezing pit of despair? Wheresoever Gigi goes, I will follow him and find him and embrace him as my son once more. However, I surmise our final destination lies far beyond the walls of said outpost. Indeed, there is but one reason he would return to those frozen wastes. To frolic in the snow and cast his worries to the wind. Really, he seemed in no mood to frolic when I last saw him. As I recall, he used his arcane powers to mend a vase, only to become morose and belligerent when it became clear to him that he was, in fact, a mammoth. One might even say he remembered what he was, remembered his purpose. And so he returned to Western Kurthus, that famous breeding ground for heresy where first we found him. Home to his heretic masters, to share with them the intelligence he had gathered on the city. At long last, the undeniable, the unquestionable, the unmistakable scent of heresy. What are we standing around for? We have a heretic to catch. Inspector, I'm starting to think that Inquisitor Seer might not think very highly of our little girl. It is possible, but I would not presume to know his feelings ere he voiced them explicitly. Until such time as he does, we should endeavor to surreptitiously bring him round to the opinion that Gigi is a boy of pure heart and good intent. Subtly in all things, Nashu. That is the Manderville way. Bullshit it is. Everything a Manderville does is loud and ostentatious. Alright, to Falcon's Nest. It's not that far of a flight, actually. Aha! I knew it! The mammoth immediately left the outpost and looks to have headed north along the river. By the Fury, I cannot wait to finally catch him in the company of heretics. I don't much like your tone, Inquisitor. If our baby girl ran afoul of any heretics, she'd look them square in the eye and tell them she doesn't want any. Hey, Inspector. I think I just had one of those moments, you know, of insight? Maybe Gigi came out here to find Lord Godbert. I did tell her Grandpapa might like to see that trick of hers. Brilliant deduction, Nashu. He must be eager to meet his grandparents. The selfsame ones he renounced when he declared you were not his father? What a fine young gentleman, eager to explore his heritage. Let us make haste, my friends, for a reunion of 3 generations of Mandervilles beckons. I really can't be bothered. The treks continue to the north. So I'm trying to, like, somewhat stay current on Manderville with Morrighan. I was already current with Aerolith by the time they got around to releasing the Endwalker relics, which are the Manderville weapons. But I would like to, you know, make it to the Manderville relics in post Endwalker and be ready to go. The treks continue to the north. Gigi! Gigi, no! Careful, my dear, that one was a bit below the belt. Oh! That's Julian and Godbert. I'm sitting here going, I have never seen this event where there's a snowball fight going on. But no, that's Lord Godbert and his wife. The mammoth lies motionless in the snow, fragments of ice stuck in its cap, suggesting the impact of something small and round traveling at high speed. Ugh, my head. Who? Oh, it's you. You followed me. Oh, Gigi. If you wanted to have a snowball fight with your grandparents, you should have said so earlier. Papa Hildy was very worried, though he is glad to see that you are unharmed. It would seem he was struck by a... Oh, wrong voice. It would seem he was struck by a snowball, much like these Stein blocks, these dead Stein blocks. Are you sure he isn't damaged? As if a mere blow to the head could fell our Gigi. We Mandervilles are made of sterner stuff. I myself have been driven headfirst into the earth on no fewer than 24 occasions, several times from malms above, and my mind is no less brilliant for the experience. I expect the Earth was no less brilliant for the experience either. Why are you... Are you nodding? Oh. He's behind me, isn't he? What good fortunes to cross paths with you lot so far from civilization. Forgive me for not taking notice earlier. I was engrossed in my duel with Julian. But how rude of me. Would you care to join us? Grandpapa Godbert! Grandpapa Godbert! Mama Nashu says you wield the powers of life and death. I beg of you, Grandpapa Godbert, grant me life. Make me a real boy. Are you sure about this, son? It may sting a little. I will endure whatever I must to become a real boy. Then let us begin. This body, it's everything I ever wanted. It's perfect. Thank you, Grandpapa Godbert. Thank you. Oh, but I have not even begun to begin. Beauregard, guide my hammer. Is he a real boy? Oh, he's a Rogadin now. Papa Hildy! I'm a Manderville man. Gigi, my son! Come to your father. Let me have a look at you. Oh god. So on my original playthrough as Aerolith, Papa Hildy! Gigi! I skipped most of the cutscenes. So I'm experiencing this for the first time, and this is Yeah, Nashu, I agree. It's so touching. Oh, he's limit breaking? It's so dumb, but it's so good. Like, I do fully understand why some parts of the fan base hate the Manderville questlines, because they just are kinda out there, but honestly, what isn't in a fantasy world setting? Now that brings back some memories. Papa Hildy? Oh dear! Who could have done such a thing? Aww. By the Fury. It's just like the vase all over again. Miraculously restored to its original form. Gigi, my boy. Upon further consideration, I believe that this body may suit you best. It is, how shall I put this, more manageable. And much more adorable. But how can I ever be accepted as your son if I remain a mammoth? Is that what's been troubling you all this time? But why didn't you say so? A Manderville is more than flesh and blood. He is vigor, compassion, honor. A gentleman for all seasons. Be you man or machine, it makes no difference. If they call you a mammoth, you look them in the eye and say, nay, I am a Manderville mammoth. Oh, please let him do the tooth shine, even though he has no teeth. Damn. Mother, father, forgive me for not consulting with you earlier, but circumstances forced my hand. I have formally adopted Gigi as my son and ward of House Manderville. Ye gods! I knew he was fond of the mammoth, but did you hear that woman? Our son's gone and got himself a son! Grandpapa Godbert! Grandpapa Godbert! Ha! It all makes sense now. Grandpapa Godbert and Grandmama Julian. I've been waiting years to hear these words. Grandpapa Godbert, Grandmama Julian. Few things in life are grander than becoming a grandparent, as they say. Ha ha ha! Oh, but she's not happy. And what's so bloody grand about it? She's really not happy about it. I'll not be made grandmother to a bloody buggering mammoth. It's past time I beat some sense into my beloved boy. Fury, take me. I'd heard the tales of dark nights before, but no, it couldn't be. No, I think it was something far worse. Heretical like as not, but rules be damned. I'm not risking my life to find out. They're mad. Utterly mad. The whole damn lot of them. How their house could rise to such prominence, I will never understand. Oh, well, at least the mammoth seems to have overcome its existential crisis. Before today, I didn't know a mammoth could even have an existential crisis. Wait, what am I saying? It's a mammoth. Why should I care what it claims to think or feel? Fury, take me. Their idiocy is infectious. I mustn't allow myself to fall prey to it. Follow procedure. Report to your superior. One step at a time. One step at a time. Done. Done. Duh. Who are these people? I'm kind of pissed at myself now that I did skip these so much. As Aerolith. It's actually, like, good dumb story, honestly. Right then. My superiors have been informed of the mammoth's adoption by House Manderville, as witnessed by House Fortals. Proceeded to take me to task for my gross mishandling of the situation. They remain convinced that the mammoth is the product of heretical machinations, and have commanded me to redouble my efforts to prove this incontrovertible fact. That may prove problematic, however, as Gigi seems to have forsaken his quest to recover his memories, and thrown himself wholly into his new life as a Manderville mammoth, casting about for any hint of a case alongside his doting father. In any event, though I do not share my superior's conviction, I think it's safe to say there is something exceedingly unusual about that mammoth. You saw with your own eyes how effortlessly it restored that base and itself to its original form. Reconstructive magics are not particularly rare, but his are unlike any I have ever seen before. Oh, what do we got here? Thanks for watching, YouTube. I hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below and let me know what you thought. And once again, you can catch me on Twitch at twitch.tv/CalebGames here, where I stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, starting between 9 and 10 a.m. Pacific time. Have a good one, YouTube. I love you. Take care of yourselves.